Hi there. Today we are going to talk all about our port stop in Portland, England. We were just there on the beautiful Regal Princess in June of 2024. We were actually there in port on Sunday, June 9th, and so I'm going to share a lot of footage and narrate it and tell you all about it. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Like I said, we stopped in Portland, England on our British Isles cruise. We had originally had a stop in Belfast, Ireland, and then they switched it out and put Portland, England on our itinerary. We were really excited. We would have been excited to go to Belfast. We were really excited to get to go to Portland because there is so much to see in that whole region there of England. If you're not familiar with that area, you should look it up. It's there in Dorset. And also in that area, you've got a lot of the Jurassic coast area of England. If you don't know about that, look it up. When we went on the Northern Lights cruise last October, which was also a round trip out of Southampton, we went a few days early and actually drove down to Lyme Regis because I'd read all about it, to the Jurassic coast there, and had a fantastic time. As you look at the map of England and you see where Lyme Regis is, it's over to the east of it is where you would look to see the part of the Jurassic coast that we visited during our visit there in Dorset and while we were in Portland, England. So let me tell you about our tour guide. So first of all, we booked our tour privately. Just Gordon and I went, and it was through a company called Dorset and Beyond, which one of our Let's Go family members told me about, said they had been there and thoroughly enjoyed their tour. And so what they do, you go to their website, Dorset and Beyond, and when you they offer a bunch of different kinds of tours. And when you see what you want, you just send them an email, let them know what you're looking for and when you will be there, and then they will reply. And I let them know some other things that I wanted to get to see, and so they just added it on and said, oh, we'll be able to do that, and your driver will be able to work with you on the itinerary a little bit. If you end up being tight on time, they'll talk to you about it. So we thought that was fabulous. They have you pay a 20% deposit of the total that your tour is going to cost, and before you go, and then you just hand the rest of the fee to the driver in cash at the end of the day. Alrighty, so we did that, and we added a tip as well. So she was there first thing in the morning. So we got off around 7:30, I think is about the time that they had it ready for us to get off. But even before they had given the okay for everyone to get off the ship and announced that the gangway is open, we could see that she was parked over there. So she was very prompt, ready for us to go. So we went out, and she introduced herself, just the nicest lady. Now in England, you don't just decide you want to drive Uber and sign up to take people on tours. You actually have to have your car inspected. It has to meet all of these different requirements, and you have to meet some requirements as well. So she was very well versed in the whole region, not only in the history of the area, she lived there as well, but the culture, the sights, everything. She did a really good job of talking to us. So I'm just going to have some of that video tucked in here with us talking to her as we go, but I just wanted to let you know that's a really good option if you're looking for an affordable tour for 2 people, or you can do it for more people as well. So we were just 2 of us, so it was a car, but you can also book like 4 or 6 people with them, and they'll bring like a minivan for you or a van. And so just putting that out there, it's not just if you have like 1 or 2 people, you can do that. So upon picking us up, she started right out. The other places to see were not open. And she also took the time to go through with us. Like one of the things I wanted to go see that I put down on my list, fossil forest. The fossil forest is actually in the middle of a military area. And she was so kind. She showed us on her phone. They have a schedule of when they are going to be doing training in that region. When there's doing training, no civilians can go on the roads that go through there. And it happened that that was happening that day. So we didn't get to go to the fossil forest. So maybe we'll get to go another time. But she immediately took us up and showed us this beautiful, beautiful overlooked. It's where they've got this beautiful lighthouse. It's where the Olympic rings were from when they had the Olympics there. They did all the sailing right there in the whole Portland area right there, in Weymouth and everything. So we started off with seeing that, and then we headed over to go to Corfe Castle. Now, Corfe Castle is one of the most special places that I have been to as far as castles go. I've been to several now in England, which I'm really happy to say, but it was really spectacular. And a lot of what I think made it special is it is just right there with so many things really close right around. There's a bakery right there, so we got a special treat. I just love what they make with raisins and their rolls and everything there, so we got that. And then we went on into the castle area. Now, in the castle, right when you go in, if you are someone, because it's a kind of steep hill to get up there, they have walking sticks that you can just borrow. And so Gordon borrowed those and walked up, and he walked most of the way, and then I continued to the end to see all of the beautiful vistas and up a little bit where they will let you walk up a little bit higher. And it is definitely worth a visit. If you get to go to Corfe Castle, and that's spelled C-O-R-F-E, it is absolutely beautiful. And we, like I said, we were there on a Sunday, and so you had lots of people that were local to that region there to visit, as well as some tourists. And so people had brought their picnics, families were there, and it was just a really fun and special time to get to go visit. I love that you'll have these little villages. They've got the church, so we went in the church and enjoyed the views there and everything. They had a National Trust store and some other little gift shops there. I never can resist going into a National Trust shop. If you're someone, here's a tip, if you're someone that enjoys fudge, that's going to be some of the best fudge you're going to find, is what they sell in the National Trust stores. But also take a minute to talk to people whenever you are in a National Trust store, one of their shops, because you know what? I have learned so much about places that I want to visit and interesting books that then I knew to order online that they maybe didn't have, or I bought from the shop there because they were recommended, about places to visit and all about the region that we were in that I would have never known if I hadn't talked to someone. So I want to put a place on your radar. There is a place called Kingston Lacey, and it is a beautiful home there. It is actually it was actually owned by the people, the lady that actually was the last person to live there in Corfe Castle. Her son is the one that they ended up moving there and turning it into what it is now. I wouldn't have known that if the person there at the National Trust shop hadn't told me that. So I have ordered books about him. I've ordered things about that home. And when we go again, that's one place that I'm going to go. In fact, and the way it worked with our driver is she would drop us off, and I love that she said, "You're not in a hurry. Enjoy your vacation. Enjoy where you are," because I tend to be in a hurry. And so I'd say, "Okay, what time do you want us back here?" And she said, "Just take your time." And so Gordon had her number in his phone, and he could text her when we were ready to be picked up. So we thoroughly enjoyed the little square area. They had a monument to Queen Victoria. It was just absolutely wonderful. So we thoroughly enjoyed that. She came back and picked us up, and then took us on a little bit more sightseeing. We ended up driving down to where the Jurassic coast is. That was included in the tour, and I wanted to make sure that we saw things. So we ended up going to Lulworth Cove, which is a really cool area to see. You walk down. It's one of those places that as you go along the cliffs there, the more weather they have, the more fossils it washes out, which is what the Jurassic coast is all about. It's called the Jurassic coast because they get fossils there from the Jurassic period. And every time that there is another storm, some of the cliffs wash away, and then you get more fossils that way, as well as some wash up that are in the ocean in that area, in the on the floor of the ocean. So it's a really special area. So we walked there, had a really lovely time. There are little shops along the way. We got ice cream because ice cream there tastes better than it does at home always, and got to see all of the sights there. She came and picked us up, took us over to where you have to walk down to go see Durdle. So Durdle is its own special place there. I walked partway down until it got really, I actually walked quite a ways down, and then it got really close to the water down there, and I was just not quite sure that I didn't want to slide into the water, but I walked as far down as you could, really without having to go that little bit of the slippery rest of the way, and got to see that, which was a dream come true. I've wanted to see that for a long time, and walked back up, and then once again she came and got us, took us over to Athelhampton House. Now, it's really important that you learn about the places that you are going to go see. Athelhampton House just sounds like another beautiful country home there in England. And then you start reading about it and looking at what they've done with their gardens. So we spent a lot of time in the gardens. But also, on the tour of the house, they had a room where they had a lot of actual real newspapers from the time when they had them from World War II. They had them from when King Edward abdicated, so that King George became the next king, which led to Queen Elizabeth becoming the next queen. They actually had a special book from when she got married. And on the radio, they were playing, which we're going to share here with you, they were playing what was on the radio at that time. And the people that lived in that home knew all of these people and all of the things that were happening. And so it was just turned out to be a more special place than I ever expected.
Let us hope against the sovereignty and independence of other states. Such a principle, stripped of all hopes of settled peace and of the security of justice and liberty among nations, would be ended. This is the ultimate issue which confronts us. For the sake of all that we ourselves.
Alrighty, after we got done there at Athelhampton House, she went ahead and we headed back to the ship. We didn't want to be late and she didn't want us to be late. I really appreciate how attentive she was to what time it was and making sure that we weren't late. So she took us right back to the ship. You should know that the port there in Portland is very, very secure. They know her. She was commenting on this. They know her very well because she often does tours, and she was saying that some of those security personnel know her from other places where other places that she works with to do tours as well. But every time they come in, they run like they have the security thing that like puts the mirror under your car to make sure. They were really giving it the once over to make sure that everything was secure and that we weren't bringing anything in that we shouldn't have. And so that's a really important thing I think to know about the port there. But we had just really the best day. We saw so much more than we would have seen if we would have just done an excursion with the ship. We had a long day in port there. We were there from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. So we didn't have to feel like we were rushed, and we got to see an awful lot. So I highly recommend Portland, England, that whole region to you. When I go back again, we're going to go see more. So if you've got questions about Portland, England, don't hesitate to put them in the comments, and we'll be happy to answer and let you know everything we know. So thanks for joining me here today. It's been really nice to talk with you about Portland, and I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.
At the moment, we got a lot of drama on the island because whoever owns that pub wants to knock it down and rebuild it exactly the same.
Oh no.
As you can imagine, there is outrage. Why knock it down? Just fix it.
Another one of those.
Look at that tree. It's beautiful.